In this video, we'll try to show you what the conditions on the Hole in the Rock road look like, so you can make a good judgment call whether your vehicle can reach the many popular locations such as Peekaboo and Spooky Gulch, or if you go further down the road, you eventually reach the many trailheads into Coyote Gulch. It's always wise to stop at the BLM office in the town of Escalante and check with the rangers the conditions of the road and your trailheads, as changes occur rapidly in this region. As you leave the town of Escalante, you'll see the road to the Hole in the Rock on your right as you head out of town to the east. The first part of this road is heavily traveled and often contains boondockers within the first few miles in the trees. We took a brief exit off the Hole in the Rock road just to check out the boondockers and to see how many were actually there in May. This is a very popular area for boondockers. But you get an idea of the vegetation and the space between sites. Road traffic on Hole in the Rock Road. As we headed further south, we got out of the junipers and it became more of a grassland, sagebrush type environment. One needs to be careful as this is also an open range. We had a few cattle even jump out in front of our truck as we were driving. We avoided the cattle as we headed further south down the road, narrowly missing one cow that decided to jump across the road. As you head further south, you reach Lower Dry Fork Trailhead. That has a nice parking lot and bathrooms if you need a bathroom break. But at this point, you're very close to the main trailhead, just another mile or so further south for Peekaboo and Spooky Gulch.
We're almost right on it.
Getting close. Morgan says Spooky and Peekaboo Gulch. This Hole in the Rock road is brutal. Brutal. This is it here.
Should be approaching it right about now.
I see a sign.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Turn left.
Yeah, I think we're gonna turn.
That's it.
Yep,
See?
I think so.
It's it.
25
The blue
miles.
dot is right on Spooky Gulch.
Dry Fork Trailhead. 1.2 miles.
Dry Fork. I thought
Peekaboo and Spooky Slot Canyons.
1.2 miles.
1.2 miles. You can see all the cars out there. After driving almost 26 miles, we made a short detour and checked out Peekaboo and Spooky Gulches. A fun place to play. It's about a 6-mile loop hike. Lots of fun. Before heading further down the road towards Hurricane Wash and eventually 40-mile Ridge Trailhead that has all the warning signs about four-wheel drive and loose sand. Hurricane Wash. Drop the truck off. Another 6 miles or so further down the Hole in the Rock road, you reach an area known as Hurricane Wash. There's a small parking lot here, and it's one of the main trailheads for Coyote Gulch. We actually backpacked down this wash
Hurricane Wash
last year. In the video here, I show you a few seconds of that trail to give you an idea of what it looks like before you reach the cottonwoods in the water. As you head south of Hurricane Wash Trailhead, the Hole in the Rock Road is much less traveled than the road up to that point. This latter section of the road south towards 40 Mile Ridge Road is not too bad, but once you turn onto the 40 Mile Ridge Road, you start seeing signs of recommended four-wheel drive and deep loose sand that's possible. While driving down the 40 Mile Ridge Road to the Water Tranks Trailhead, or actually the very end, 40 Mile Ridge Trailhead, speed is your friend, especially through the sandy sections to avoid from getting stuck. This is not an area you'd want to be stuck in and having to get extracted. In some sections, the road seems to veer away from the deep loose sand, and there are new sections of the road off to the side that allows one to traverse around them. This works well up to the Water Tanks Trailhead, which is also leveraged for the sneaker route down into Jacob Hamlin Arch. We continued on, however, down the road to the very end, 40 Mile Ridge Trailhead. In this section, the sand becomes even deeper, and I could easily see non-four-wheel drive vehicles, and even maybe four-wheel drive vehicles, being stuck in the deep sand. Trailhead. The last couple miles, 2 or 3 miles of the 40 Mile Ridge Road is deep in sand, as you could see. We eventually reached the trailhead where there were many vehicles the day that we had arrived there that had traversed this area. We ended up camping in the high desert up there that night. They don't allow camping at the trailheads, but you can camp out in the desert. We found a nice spot underneath the moon that night before we began our descent down into Coyote Gulch through what is known as the crack on the wall, where you have to lower your packs and then climb down a 700-foot sand dune with Stevens Arch out in the distance. Stevens Arch. We eventually made it to the bottom of the gulch, found the first water and the waterfalls, as well as the Black Lagoon that contains black leeches, reportedly. As you hike further up the gulch, you actually pass through Coyote Natural Bridge, an awesome experience to hike underneath this and hike further up the canyon towards Jacob Hamlin Arch. These are popular areas for campers, especially under Jacob Hamlin Arch, where there's a large beach that you can camp at. After camping in the gulch overnight, we made our way past Jacob Hamlin Arch. Such a large enclave there underneath the rock that's amazing to look up at. It's a nice cool spot actually to camp to avoid the heat of the day. We eventually made our way out via the Hurricane Wash, avoiding the sneaker route, and then driving back down the Hole in the Rock road. I would suggest you get a map of the area if you're doing this hike, as well as making sure you have the ability to extract oneself from the sand, either traveling with friends with a rope or have some type of max tracks when traversing this road. If you have interest in some of the hike down through the crack on the wall, I have another video posted on my channel. I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe if interested. Until our next adventure. Thank you.